Hello and welcome to today's episode where we're diving into something that's been on the minds of many educators, teaching local history. Now, if you've ever felt that little flutter of anxiety about doing justice to your local history lessons, you're definitely not alone. I remember my early days, the excitement of bringing the past to life, but also the nerves about whether I'd get it right. So today, I'm here to talk about some common mistakes to avoid and how to turn those potential pitfalls into opportunities for richer learning experiences. This guide is a bit different because it doesn't just focus on dates and facts. Instead, it's about weaving stories that make history come alive for students. The exciting part? Local history isn't just a series of disconnected events. It's a tapestry of stories that connect the past to the present, helping students see themselves in the history of their own communities. In recent years, the way we teach local history has really evolved. There's a growing emphasis on culturally responsive teaching and community-centered learning. More and more, educators are finding that local history serves as a bridge between academic content and lived experience. We're not just teaching history, we're becoming community historians, cultural interpreters, and storytelling facilitators all in one. So, where do we start? Foundation concepts are key. At its core, teaching local history is about fostering connection. We want students to feel a part of the community's story. One common mistake? Presenting history as just a list of dates and events. That approach can quickly lead to students zoning out. Instead, imagine them as junior historians. Encourage them to ask questions like, why did people make the choices they did? And how did those choices shape our community today? This turns history into a dynamic conversation, something personal and relatable. One strategy I found particularly effective is what I like to call the mystery method. Instead of starting with answers, we begin with intriguing questions drawn from our local community. For instance, instead of saying, "Our town was founded in 1887, why not ask, why did early settlers choose this exact spot? This approach piques students' curiosity, casting them as active investigators. Another important point is that local history is inherently interdisciplinary. Geography, economics, sociology, all these fields come into play. By weaving these disciplines together, you create a multifaceted learning experience that mirrors the complexity of real historical development. If you're looking for more strategies, there are great resources out there, like the top resources for teaching local history in 2025, which can offer a deeper dive. Once you set this groundwork, it's time to build complexity with engaging techniques. Textbooks often lack the rich details of local narratives. Here's a tip. Use local resources creatively. Museums, historical societies, even long-standing local businesses can provide materials that textbooks can't. And encourage students to conduct oral history interviews with community elders. This isn't just clever, it's incredibly enriching. It connects students directly to history, fostering a sense of ownership over their learning. Remember, real history doesn't unfold in tidy chapters. It's messy, with overlapping waves of change influenced by local decisions, regional trends, and national events all at once. Help students understand this complexity with timeline activities that show concurrent developments. While the railroad transformed transportation, what happened to local Native American communities? How were women's roles changing? What economic shifts were happening? Another technique I love is historical empathy exercises. Students don't just learn about past events, they explore what it might have felt like to live through them. Create scenarios where they make decisions based on constraints from different historical periods. This helps them see that people in the past weren't just making good or bad choices, they were responding to complex circumstances. Using primary sources is crucial at this stage. Letters, diaries, newspaper articles, photographs from your local area offer authentic voices from the past. But it's essential to teach students to analyze these sources critically. Understanding every source has perspective, purpose, and potential biases. A 1920 newspaper article doesn't just reflect what happened, but also how the editor wanted it understood. For those working with younger students, there's an excellent guide on introducing local history in elementary education that's worth exploring. It offers tailored insights for younger audiences. When you're ready for the next level, incorporating technology is a strategic move. Digital archives, historical mapping tools, even virtual reality can offer students immersive perspectives. They bridge geographical and temporal gaps, allowing students to explore historical sites from their classrooms. But here's the nuance. Technology should enhance the human connection to history, not replace it. And don't shy away from discussing difficult topics. History is complex, and acknowledging that complexity allows for more meaningful discussions, preparing students for real-world critical thinking. Teaching local history also involves understanding historical significance. Not every event deserves equal attention. Part of historical thinking is understanding why certain events are more significant than others. Discussing these nuances with students helps them critically evaluate history. As we wrap up, I hope these insights help you approach local history teaching with fresh eyes and renewed confidence. Remember, it's not just about avoiding mistakes. It's about opening students' eyes to the rich, complex stories that make up their community's past, and by extension, their own. Thanks for tuning in today. I look forward to our next conversation, where we'll continue exploring ways to make history a living, breathing part of education. Until next time.